Thank you for joining us. No matter where you are in the world, we are grateful that you are here in community with us today. As a reminder, each day is an opportunity to make a meaningful change. We come together for inspiration, education, and especially celebration. Now, all this month, we celebrate our volunteers and how we can contribute to our global community. So join me in getting started by putting your hands together for the CSL Dallas music team.
Come and celebrate a new day. Celebrate the beauty of the earth. Come and look at life in a new way. Celebrate the wonder of rebirth. Come and celebrate a new day. Celebrate the beauty of the earth. Come and look at life in a new way. Celebrate the wonder of rebirth. Arise, shine, and see a brand new morning. Arise, shine, we made it through the night. Arise, shine, it's a brand new day that's dawning. Come celebrate the light. Come and celebrate a new day. Celebrate the beauty of the earth. Come and look at life in a new way. Celebrate the wonder of rebirth. Arise, shine, and see a brand new morning. Arise, shine, we made it through the night. Arise, shine, it's a brand new day that's dawning. Come celebrate the light. Arise, shine, and see a brand new morning. Arise, shine, we made it through the night. Arise, shine, it's a brand new day that's dawning. Come celebrate the light. Come celebrate the light. Come celebrate the light.
Right on. Good morning, CSL Dallas. Great to see you in the sanctuary. Great to be with you live streaming and celebrating the light. What a beautiful spring weekend we have. I hope you got some time outdoors yesterday. That was fabulous, being out in that beautiful spring day here in North Texas. Now, beautiful to be on campus with you. If you're here with us now, my name's Joe Tinker. I'll be your platform assistant. We have a lot of stuff coming up here, finishing up this month, getting into April. I'm going to let you know about those things as we go through the celebration today. So thanks for dialing in with us. Let's start together in a joyful way by celebrating our purpose statement. Let's read this out loud together. We are radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, transforming lives. And so it is. I know it. All right, here's a reminder. Last time we can remind you of this on a Sunday. This Friday night, it's coming up, March 29th, here on campus, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It is a party. Yeah. Very special evening celebrating our own Reverend Dr. Petra Wells' 65th birthday and 40 years of ministry. What? Well, we're the immediate beneficiaries, but what a blessing to the world. So do not miss. You got to be here this Friday, 6 o'clock. And now let's talk about next weekend is Easter. So we got to keep that in mind. Before I move on, let me just go ahead and say, make a mental note right now. You got people you need to tell about our Easter so they'll come for the first time maybe. Maybe post something on your social media, put the link to our website, something, get your people here. Y'all people online, get that word out there. People want to dial in. See us, be with us on Easter. So what's happening is not going to be a typical Easter. Here you'll step into a haven of peace and connection with glorious music and a metaphysical communion experience. So a deeper level, like make some sense of it for me. We will do that, be here on Easter, and you'll also be filled with inspirational messages reminding everyone we are Spirit made manifest. We possess everything we need to create heaven on earth right here and right now. So come celebrate that with us. And of course, there will be special events planned in Joy Village for children. So tell your people that you know with children, this is a great time to come check out CSL Dallas. And on Monday after Easter, that's April 1st, this is a time to get into a great class for people hungry for what metaphysics is and where it all comes from. What is the ancient wisdom that this new thought is built upon? The class is From Whence We Came. This is led by our amazing teacher, Carol Merlo. Carol's here today. You can say hi to her. Carol has been studying and doing the deep dive on this material for years and years and years. So you can benefit from her experience by taking this class with her. This is online only, so you'll be on screen with Carol and the other folks in the class. You sign up at csldallas.org/education. Course schedule, click on April 1st because it starts Monday after Easter. And to kick off our month of special Sundays in April while Petra is on her birthday, extended birthday celebration, travels with Karen, enjoying all of that, we have brought in a joyful folk musician and speaker, Elaine Silver. She'll be lifting our spirits and getting our feet tapping on Sunday, the Sunday celebration, April 7th. Elaine brings magic, love, and blessing to her concerts and appearances. She's a bright light, sharing herself and her music with authenticity and emotion. And then plan to stay for lunch. Right after the celebration on the 7th, we will have a Joy Village fundraiser for lunch. So come in, spend $10, get some lunch, but the money goes to supporting the programs of our youth in Joy Village. And you can also buy tickets then for that afternoon from 12:30 to 3. We will have a concert with Elaine, and it's called Spirituality and the Beatles. All right. All right, Elaine is a certified Beatleologist. So I'm like, okay, prove it. What the heck? So I go Google Beatleology. It's a thing, people. You could take these 4 levels of tests. The second one, you're certified Beatleologist. I said, well, let me see the questions on the first one just to see if you're familiar with. I couldn't answer any of these questions, and I love the Beatles. So here is a chance to tap into a resource who loves some of the greatest music that's ever made, and also how it's influenced, and what is the spiritual truth about some of that fantastic music that we've loved. Tickets at csldallas.org/events. It's $25 advance, but you pay $30 at the door. So save the $5 and get signed up. If you got kids, childcare will be available for $7 too. Now, whether you're joining us for the first time today or you've been connected for years, welcome, welcome, welcome. However you found us in person, online, we love spending time with you. We're so pleased to have our community, and we'd love to stay in touch with you. You can stay in the know by filling out a Connect card. If you're here on campus, it looks like this on one side. Fill that out. If you're not receiving text, emails, updates on events for CSL Dallas, get in the know, fill this card out and turn it in, place it in one of the baskets today, and we will get you dialed in. Folks online, you can do that with the information in the chat box this morning. So that way you will know about everything that's happening at CSL Dallas. And now, let's settle into the morning with our music team, Candy, Cleo, Stephanie, and Valerie. And then we have the opportunity to go within with practitioner Sherry Wood.
are the things that make us free. Now we see we are one. We are one. Now the dance of all creation has begun. We are younger than tomorrow and more ancient than the sun. In the spirit we are many, and we are one. We are one. We are one. Every mother, every father, daughter, son. All the things that make us different are the things that make us free. Now we see we are one. We are one. Now the dance of all creation has begun. We are younger than tomorrow and more ancient than the sun. In the spirit we are many, and we are one.
So I invite you to go within, joining together in the spirit of oneness. We are one. We are the reflection of life itself as individualized expressions of that one life. Each one unique, each one precious, each one here by divine appointment at this particular moment in time. Spirit has need of each one of us. The universe would not be complete without you. And so it is into that place of remembering this morning that when we say we are radically inclusive, that means everyone, every person, every being. No one, nothing left out of the oneness. And so the invitation is to live from that place, seeing with the eyes of God, meeting the eyes of God in another, being that love and receiving that love, using your individual voice and in the collective, the power of those voices unified to uplift, to teach, to practice, being that light, being that love, being that one life that is being called forward from each one of us. So I am so grateful to be here in community this morning. I am so grateful to remember, to remind, to be reminded that the one life is forever flowing. We are never separate. We are part of that golden thread that is woven through eternity. And so in this moment, we awaken, we acknowledge, we allow that one life to be reflected right here through each one of us and as our beloved community, CSL Dallas. So if you, like me, believe that this is our truth, I invite you to affirm it with me by saying Ashe, Amen, and so it is.
We are one. We are one. Every mother, every father, daughter, son. All the things that make us different are the things that make us free. Now we see. We are one. We are one. Now the dance of all creation has begun. We are younger than tomorrow and more ancient than the sun. In the spirit we are many, and we are one. In the spirit we are many, and we are one.
CSL Dallas. My name is Marcia Megdapur. I've also been known sometime as the Rev. But in my retirement of a couple of years ago, I find myself mixed between being the Rev and being Marcia. So as I tell people, I was Marcia before I was the Rev, so just call me Marcia. This is a journey of making a difference through sacred service. This month we're celebrating what it means to be in sacred service. You've heard many individuals come up here and tell their story about how their life has been transformed by CSL Dallas, by the teachings, and by being in service. And my journey began in 1984. That's 40 years ago, about the time I guess Peter was stepping up to say, I'm ready to do my thing and be in ministry. But mine began just walking into a center, sitting in the back row, listening to the minister talk directly to me, even though there were about 60 or 70 people in the room. And I'll be darned if she didn't do that every week for the next 5 weeks or so. And every word that she said spoke in some level within me that I wanted to understand and know more about what this teaching is, what it is that is believed in the science of mind. And the way that I would do that, of course, would be to go into classes. I think I was the student in any teacher's class that they didn't welcome, because all I did was ask questions. And you know, to this day, I still ask a lot of questions. But the questions that I asked in those days got me answers. And the answers I got me practicing the presence, got me practicing this philosophy. And you know how else I got to be doing that was in service. Someone said to me one day, we need a support person to do thus and such. Would you be willing to help us? Willing to help us. Well, I've been in service through my family all of my life. It seemed natural for me to be in service. But you know what? When I was in service at the center that I was a part of, it made a big difference in my life. I met people who told me how their lives were transformed through the practice in the present. We laughed together, we cried together. We did a lot of things to make a difference in the community that we were a part of. And that holds true now up until this day, and it will be true until kingdom come. And what I'm here to say to all of you today, and even those of you who are at home watching us, I know that you are touched by this philosophy and this teaching, and in some way, through your home presence, you find your way to be in service. But being here with the individuals that are here totally makes a big difference in your life. So over the 40 years that I've been practicing, and when I got the call to go into ministry, you know, people say, well, you're a minister. Naturally, you're called into service. Well, that wasn't the way it was at the beginning. And the more I was in service, the more I learned about myself, the more I learned about the philosophy, the more I learned about the people that I was standing with. I used to think I was the odd one out. And then I found out all of you were the odd ones out. So we're in this together. We are one. And the important thing is that we're here on Sunday to hear Dr. Petra give the message, to hear this magnificent music. I was sitting over there saying, I hope I get up there and not fall into tears, because this teaching, this philosophy, this being here in the presence has made a true difference in my life. And I implore you all to consider, what is the gift that you bring that will make a difference, not only in CSL Dallas, but it will make a difference in your life, and it will make a difference in the lives of those individuals you come in contact with. Today, just early this morning, several of us put together the setup for the Opportunity Fair. And during that fair, there will be team leads of the various teams that do the many things around this center to make it all happen. You know, I live in a location that's a gated community, and it's called The Village at Prestonwood. And when I come here, I think this is the village. We're all one within this village of CSL Dallas. And it's our responsibility to be with one another and to uplift each other when the need is there, and to laugh with each other, to dance with each other, to party with each other. I love partying. Yes, yes. As I prepare myself to take leave of Texas, God bless the heat and everything, but I'm leaving. And I think I will be taking the service with me that is a part of who I am, no matter where I go. And no matter what you do, you will find yourself doing the same thing. So I, again, implore you to stop over to the Pankey Hall to see what the opportunities are for you to be in service, to find that gift that you bring specifically to make a difference in this community and in the world through what you bring and who you are. You all have something to offer. So I've got lots of snacks over there. We'll have lots of popcorn. I had to pull myself in because I have a tendency to overdo it when it comes to celebrating around food and that. But there will be goodies over there, and we'll laugh and we'll talk about what the opportunities are for you to be in service, and consider it. And even beyond this month of making a difference through sacred service, continue your thought process of how it is that you are being called into service to make a difference in the world. Thank you so very much. Have a blessed day. All right.
We are the world's people, different yet we're the same. We believe in the dream, praying for peace and healing. I hope we can start again. We believe in the dream. So if you ever feel love is fading, together like the stars in the sky, we can sing we can shine. When you hear our voices call, you won't be lonely anymore. Oh, a million voices. Your heart is like a beating drum, burning brighter than the sun. Oh, a million voices. Now that the world is listening through cities and satellites, we believe in the dream. So if you ever feel love is fading, together like the stars in the sky, we will sing, we can shine. Oh, what is like the night and bright, you won't be lonely anymore. Oh, a million voices. Your heart is like a beating drum, burning brighter than the sun. Oh, a million voices. As I look around at these faces, I can see the stars in the sky. We will sing, we will shine. Oh, when you hear our voices call, you won't be lonely anymore. Oh, a million voices singing out, singing out, oh, singing out, singing out, oh, singing out. A million voices singing out, singing out, oh, singing out, singing out, oh, singing out.
Yay. Thank you, Cleo. Thank you so much, Cleo, Brad, Jonathan, and Matt. That is the 2015 winner of Eurovision. It's called A Million Voices, and it was the Russian, what do you say? Entry. Thank you. That's the word I was thinking of. The Russian entry that year. And I cry every time I hear it. A Million Voices. Right? And we saw that last week. If you have not seen or weren't here for last week's conversation, I invite you to take a look at it. We looked at all the ways in which movements have happened. Not all the ways. We picked some highlights of which when movements happened and brought together a collective consciousness, and women and civil rights and all kinds of different ways that a million voices have made a difference. And yeah, it's still true today that a million voices make a difference. Last week we talked about action, doing things in the world and being willing to be a part of that. Today we want to layer on top of that the idea that part of what we're doing is raising this collective consciousness, that by acting in the world, we are in fact a million people marching on Washington for civil rights is a part of what shifts consciousness. So does sitting in meditation. Deciding to be one of those voices, whether it's in a spoken word, whether it's writing a piece, an op-ed piece, whether it's talking across the dinner table with family members. But this work begins in consciousness. It begins in the consciousness that we have and who we see ourselves to be, who we decide we're going to be, and what we're going to do with that in the world. When we are conscious of who we are and that our voice makes a difference, we become someone who not only sees the vision of a life that works for all, but also seeks to be it themselves. We have to live it and breathe it, and we have to use our gifts and consciousness to shift the collective consciousness, or nothing changes, right? Nothing changes. We just get more and more and more of the same. Or more importantly, we get more and more and more of where the attention and intention goes. I remember as a kid, I was, 8, maybe 10, something like that. I was already reading National Geographic. I was part of the Ranger Rick Society, junior ranger, right? I was all about the animals and the environment. And I remember reading the story that said Lake Erie was burning. Some of you remember that. I was like, what? How can a lake burn? Well, it was burning nonstop because there was so much pollution and so much that had gathered in a particular area, and it had, spontaneously combusted, got hit by lightning. I don't remember that part of the story, but it was burning uncontrollably over a long period of time. At Lake Erie today, you can boat on it, swim in it, and fish in it. Why? Because a bunch of people said, this is not okay. We believe that we can make a difference. We believe that this can be different. And we are going to start speaking and acting and being about that. The same thing happened in the Chesapeake Bay. I don't know if you've ever read any stories about when the first settlers first came here, and the teeming amount of wildlife was mind-boggling, especially those who came from Europe, where they had been living for thousands of years. So wilderness didn't exist, doesn't really exist very much in Europe at all. And the teeming amount of wildlife, unimaginable. The passenger pigeon would take all day for a flock of them when they were migrating to pass over a cornfield. It would be as wide as a cornfield, and it would take all day. Do you know how many of them there left? 0. The Chesapeake Bay, when I was that age, was toxic, and a lot of the parts of it were considered dead. Today, it's a beautiful place for sporting, for swimming, sailing, boating, fishing, and the wildlife has, to some degree, returned. People remembered what it was like, what it could be like, but they imagined what it could be like. And they spoke about it, they used their gifts and their consciousness to shift the consciousness around it. In the science of mind, we call this collective consciousness that we're all part of. We call it race consciousness, not meaning racial, ethnic consciousness, but the human race. Carl Jung called it the collective unconscious, that set of beliefs that we collectively hold. And we hold them as human beings, we hold them as cultures, we hold them as religions, we hold them in families, right? Which is very similar to the individual beliefs that we've held our own lives, our whole lives, that are what is outpicturing, right, in our own lives. And we have learned how to change consciousness for ourselves, haven't we? You heard Marcia talk about it. We go to classes, we give our service, we get involved, we get engaged, and we begin to see our lives change. because we are doing something differently, yes, but also because we have learned how to look at the beliefs that we have or the beliefs that we have by osmosis taken on, and we've been able to say, no, that's not the spiritual truth about me. No, that's not the spiritual truth about me. That may be the product of some past experience or some human idea, but that is not the spiritual truth about me. And what I've noticed in the last 10 years, as it seems as though the world is burning at lots and lots and lots of different ways, what I've over and over and over and over again found myself saying is that is not the spiritual truth of humanity. This is not who we are. This is not the spiritual truth. We know how to be one. We know how to take care of ourselves and each other. We know how to live peacefully. We have done it and we have proven it over and over and over again in so many different ways and places. And we know the spiritual truth of who we are, that we're here to give our gift, express ourselves, and experience the very nature of life to its best and highest possibility as us. And of course, if we want that for us, and we are in fact one, what is the extrapolation of that? We must, of course, not because we should, but because it's the only place to go with that spiritual imperative, we must, of course, want it for everyone. For everyone and for all beings everywhere, and for all of creation. So we are learning here at CSL Dallas, and we are practicing using our spiritual tools, not just to shift individual consciousness, but to deliberately and intentionally shift collective consciousness. We do that by using our tools, by creating new mental equivalents. Our global vision is a new mental equivalent of what it means to have a world that works for me, that works for all, that works for creation. And we learn that we have to speak it and affirm it into being. Just as we speak it and affirm it into being for our own lives, we actually have to speak it and affirm it into being for the life of the whole. I haven't always spent the last 10 years speaking and affirming into being the mental equivalent that I'd like to hold. You don't have to raise your hand, but you might think about it. How many ain't it awful and isn't it terrible and I can't believe they're doing it and this will never be fixed and it'll never be changed and it's running away with us and we're in trouble and it's gonna, oh my God, we're just gonna fall off the cliff. I'd rather just be about my own life. I don't want my peace disturbed. I can't do anything. There's nothing for me to do. I'm just gonna take care of me. And what are we speaking and affirming into being? We're the same. Oh, it's them. It's those people. It's those rich people and those corporate people and those political people and those people and those people and those people and those people in that situation and that. But we know better. We know, actually, that all of that is just the effect of the consciousness, the causal consciousness that not only do we as individuals carry, but that we have carried collectively. And as we bring it to awareness, we can say, no, that is not the spiritual truth. That is not how people who know who they are behave. So let's remember who we are. Let's affirm and bring that into being. We build an inner awareness of that. And then the really hard work is to accept it, that it is so, even when you can't see it. Right? This is exactly what we do in our own lives. Accept that it is so, even when it's not that way yet. Ask, believing you have received, and you shall receive. Right? That's the mindset of accepting it. And its work. Right? Spiritual work and its work. So I say, let me just own it. I don't know whether it's true or not, but I say, look, you don't have to get to 100%. You just have to get to 51% in your own consciousness. If you can get to 51% to a positive expectation, you're already on the way. you're already making shifts. Now, if you can get it 70, 75%, ooh, man, train's starting to go, right? But sometimes that feels like a very long way away. So let's just get to 51%. In the collective work, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the 100th monkey syndrome, right? 100th monkey, there was a big story, there was a big book written about it, and then of course it was debunked as it was not really a story, it was actually not a real story, it was actually a myth. And out of that story came the idea that you need 10%. You need 10% of a group of people to think, believe, and act or behave in a certain way, and you begin shifting consciousness. Unfortunately, over the last 6 or 8 years, we have seen the truth of that through Facebook and social media and the divisiveness of the way things have been put out there. Yes? Does it? And it didn't take more than 10%. So I looked this up because I thought, now I've always heard this was a bit of a legend, kind of an urban legend. Maybe it's not really true. Oh, no. They now have studies over the last 10 or 15 years that show that critical mass in sociology and in humanity, the critical mass is 10%. It takes 10%. So my question to me, to all of us, is do I want to be part of the 10% that's making a difference, or do I want to be part of the 90% that thinks there's nothing to do, or there's no way to fix it, or there's nothing to change? Do I want to be the 90% that's just about me, or just trying to get by? Sometimes I do want to be part of that 90%, right? And that's okay. That's okay. It's okay to say that, right? We're not perfect. We're doing the best we can. Right? And we have to continually invite ourselves into that, just as we have to do that for our own growth, don't we? Don't you just want to, like, couldn't we just watch a movie? Do I really have to look at this thing from my childhood again? Here it is in my face. Yes, actually, at some point, yes. So I don't know how many of you read Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point. It was published in 2000, and it's a book that describes the tipping point as the moment of critical mass, the threshold, the boiling point. And he notes that ideas and products and messages and behaviors spread just like viruses do. I want to infect the world with love. Yes, infect the world with we're all one. Infect the world with there is a way to do this. That doesn't mean giving up, but it does mean, maybe a little more maturity, a little more spiritual awareness, maybe a little more inclusivity, maybe a little more, we really can figure this out. So we've been really inspired with our initiative to be a force for good in the world by Lynn McTaggart's work, if you are familiar. And Lynn McTaggart is an award-winning alternative medicine healer and investigative journalist and internationally recognized spokesperson on the science of spirituality. She now has 6 or 8 books out. And on her website, I love this. It said, many spiritual healers, Buddhist monks, Qigong masters, and shamans have used their thought to bring about the changes in themselves, in others, and in the world. They have taught us that reality is not fixed, but fluid or mutable, and hence possibly open to influence. McTaggart is constantly exploring this from a scientific point of view, and she conducts experiments called the intentional experiments in the field of human consciousness on the power of the mind to influence reality. Now, as we have said a couple of times, we were part of one of those experiments back in the, 2008, 2010, somewhere. One of her experiments was to lower the crime rate in metropolitan areas. And so we participated in that intention experiment, and the crime rate in Dallas dropped by 13 to 17% in the next weeks and months following that that experiment, and that was corroborated in the cities around the country where they had done this, all of us doing it at the same time. And so that is the idea of this collective work that we do. That it's not just my work, but it's all of us joining together in that collective energy, that collective idea that we can, in fact, shift consciousness. And when we shift consciousness, that, in fact, shifts physicality. It shifts the world. So she writes this: the power of intention multiplies depending on how many people are thinking the same thought at the same time. What I think about is how many people are thinking the same thought as they get mad at all the Facebook posts that they don't like, and they say, ain't it awful, this is horrible, and now they're mad back. This is right, and then we're just adding to the same. So the idea of collective consciousness is to join with people at the same time or not who are thinking the same thought. Now, all of this work is built on new science and the quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and the quantum field. It is an extrapolation of what's happening in the physical world, the subatomic world, and looking at, there might be something to think about or see that might have actually be what's happening in this collective consciousness work. We talked last week about banding together physically, marching, being supportive, doing those kinds of things. But collective consciousness work is banding together in consciousness. It builds on the idea that we are all one, actually, and as we know from entanglement and different aspects of the quantum field, right, which is the matrix, if you so will, of the space-time continuum. It is the fabric of the space-time continuum. Everything and everybody is coming out of that quantum field. We are, in fact, scientifically all one, not just spiritually all one. And that we have lots of people who are doing so much work about the recognition of consciousness, that there's recognition that consciousness is also embedded in the fabric of the universe, and it is revealing itself at many levels all the way through self-awareness and self-consciousness. And ultimately, that consciousness is causal. Right? We get that from medicine and from psychology and from sociology. Study after study after study after study shows that consciousness is causal, that mind can, in fact, as the Buddhist monks and the Qigong masters and the shamans have said, that mind, in fact, can impact. And one of the most interesting pieces of this whole thing is the idea of the observer effect. So we're not going to get into that. I am going to do a workshop in May or June or July, somewhere along the line, on spirituality, science and spirituality, and we'll dive a little more deeply if you're a nerd like me and you want to know about this. We're not going to talk about all that. We are going to say that out of these double-slit experiments, one of the things that was kind of brought to the surface was this idea of the observer effect, that we actually observe reality into being. I really want you to stop and think about that. We observe reality into being. Well, on the one hand, I can observe reality. I can observe reality into Lake Erie is burning. Now I'm observing reality, and if I keep observing it that way, what do? I hold it in place. But what if I observe reality from a different point of view? And I observe it in my imagination, in my intuition, and I observe it in my meditation, and I observe it in my spiritual mind treatments and my affirmations and my visualizations. Do you see all of those spiritual tools? What we're doing is we are observing reality into being. And we are not fooled by the outer effect. Those of you who are taking my morning class, you know what we're talking about. We just covered this. So since 2007, Lynn McTaggart has done 39 U.S. and global intention experiments. 35 have statistical identifiable results for positive change. That is not bad. Intention appears to be something akin to a tuning fork, causing the tuning forks of other things in the universe to resonate at the same frequency. We are all one, actually, right? And the quantum field is an oscillation of waves, right? And those waves are particularizing into moments of specialization. And when that is tuned through consciousness, you see, we are observing the particularization into a new form, a new way. Because we are observing the possible, not the impossible. The power of mass intention may ultimately be the force that shifts the, that shifts the tide toward repair and renewal of the planet, of racism, of discrimination against LGBT, trans, women, Hispanics here in the US. The list goes on. The power of mass intention may ultimately be the force that shifts the tide towards everyone having homes and enough money and enough food and enough support and enough medical care and enough to have a full and rich life. The mass intention. Now, Michael Quinn Patton wrote in a paper that he put out, he talked about the complexity theory. The complexity theory shows that great changes can emerge from small actions. Remember that a movement in consciousness is an action. Don't ever forget that. A movement in consciousness is as much an action as a spoken word or a march or a letter that you write. Change involves small actions. Change involves a belief in the possible, even the impossible. Moreover, social innovators don't follow a linear path of change. There are ups and downs, roller coaster rides along cascades of dynamic interactions, unexpected and unanticipated divergences, tipping points, and critical mass momentum shifts. Now listen to this. Indeed, things often get worse before they get better. As systems change creates resistance to and pushback against the new. Sound familiar? And so what do we do, right? What do? We never give up. We never give in. We do not give in to fear, doubt, apathy, or indifference, just like we don't do it in our own personal lives. Do you see? It's exactly the same things. But we don't do it in the larger life as well. We commit to be the change we want to see in the world. This is not a platitude. I'm going to be in the change. I'm going to be love and peace, except for when you annoy me. And then I'm not going to have anything to do with you anymore. Okay, this would not be the definition of radically inclusive. Be the change you want to see in the world means walk around, speak, affirm, act, engage, and set the intention that we behave like spiritually mature human beings. As human beings in the world today, that we behave that way, and that we show up that way, that we show up. So not only is it the collective million voices, but every voice, every treatment, every action counts. Every one that we are doing is adding to that shift in momentum in consciousness. We have to add ours, and it's all in how we do it. Do we do it with joy, with positive anticipation, or do we do it with angst and I'm going to beat the wall down? So, I have invited a fabulous person from our community to present to you today. Hunter is going to present a spoken word piece. Now, Hunter is in the advertising industry, and he was the voice of Jordan in doing a lot of advertising work as he was a 31-year-old pregnant female. But in the last year, he has transitioned, and he has this beautiful presence about him. Jamie, I'm going to do a handheld mic. Candy, can I just have a handheld mic up here? I'm going to set this up for just a minute. This is the yellow mic. I'm going to set this up for just a minute because don't necessarily run in the same circles that Hunter has been running in the last 20 years. So he's going to reference a person named Post Malone. Post Malone is an American rapper, singer, songwriter, record producer, and actor. He gained distinction and acclaim for his blending of the various genres, including hip-hop, pop, R&B, and trap. I had to look that up. He's also going to reference Iverson, an American former professional basketball player nicknamed The Answer. He played 14 seasons in the National Basketball Association, was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2016. Iverson is regarded as one of the game's greatest scorers, ball handlers, guards, and one of the most influential athletes in American sports, other than Hunter's personal favorite, Michael Jordan, who he has had the privilege of working with. So you will hear that name. They all come very quickly at the beginning, so you want to pay attention because I had to ask, what are you talking about? Or let's say, who are you talking about? So, so unfortunately, or fortunately for Hunter, Hunter is going to be moving to Austin shortly to finish, to work with his advertising career. So I snagged him before he left town. Hunter, will you please come up here?
Thank you. Y'all, this is my first time in public doing spoken word, and I love that it's here at CSL. This safe space, thank you for giving me this safe space. And I love that you did your homework. This is for the kids. Yes, I want to be that light for trans joy. This is what I stand for. I'm not here to fight, and I'm staying in Texas because Texas needs my love, my light. It'd be too easy to go to New York or LA. I'm staying in Texas. All right, so here we go. Yo, Post Malone, you the White Iverson? Well, guess what? I'm the trans Jordan. You looking at a champion. I got dunks by the millions. I'd be like Mike to the power of Jackson. I may be a rookie, but I ain't no freshman. I'd be winning life like a 6-ring goat, man. Ooh, this is me at my best. Them scars on my chest, that's my trans Superman S-man. I be saving lives like mine. Your boy's more than fine. I'm fixing to fly and bust through this Dallas, Texas sky. I be planting seeds of love and greatness. I see it in you and you and you and you. That's the power of love times a billion, boo. There ain't no other explanation. This is God at his best, man. Anything less than faith leaves you second guessing. I am gay, but I got salvation. Living in Texas, trust ain't no vacation. But queers like me, man, we're gonna bust this evangelist dream. We're on God's team. Holla if you wanna join Lil Nas X in his fantasy. Whoa. I ain't gonna apologize for being queer and Christ-like. I get my art from my big, big heart, and there's no stopping or popping the love that I feel when I'm 100% real. Ain't no dim this light tonight. I am king, and y'all left wondering, dang, what is he smoking? Ha! Nothing but truth. This is me and my love, grounded me in my Dallas, Texas roots, yes. But what y'all gonna do? Wanna be ballers, shot callers, lesbian U-haulers, hunter haulers, anything but smaller versions of yourselves? What you ain't gonna do is dim your light, cause baby, you are burning oh so bright. I'm here to say it's more than okay to be trans and gay, that's right. We're just jealous cause we out here living and dancing like Madonna's Holiday. Trust it's gonna be more than okay. Ooh, lean into love, release the pain, paint with your brains. Co-creating with the universe is insane. We're gonna get paid. We're so good, we're cool like shade. Ooh, dang. Your boy's thirsty. Hey, Beyonce, pass that sweet, sweet lemonade. Ooh, I'm refreshed. I'm ready for next. Peace out, Dallas. I'm headed for capital love in the ATX. Yes.
Brilliant and beautiful. Brilliant and beautiful. Thank you for saying yes. That's how you be the change you want to see in the world. Margaret Mead says this: never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. That's what we're up to here. And we are going to shine our light bright. So it is.
Let me ask our greeters to come forward with our offering baskets, please. Whether you're in the room here with us on campus or you're online, we ask you to give generously to the work of CSL Dallas, because without your gifts, pledges, and tithes, we wouldn't be here together. Get in the flow of your good by sharing the good you have. Watch it return to you tenfold. Let me say, this is a spiritual practice. Everyone can practice today. Let's all band together, and it doesn't have to be spiritual perfect, it has to be spiritual practice. And we're participating today here in the sanctuary and online. Let's begin with our abundance affirmation together. I am filled with the Spirit and radiant in the consciousness of its rich abundance. I receive it, I accept it, and I build it into my consciousness. I'm grateful that Spirit's rich bounty pours into and through CSL Dallas. We are eternally prospered, blessed, and a blessing to all, and so it is. Thank you so much. There are many ways to give. There's text giving and Venmo if you prefer that. PayPal, we've got that. Auto tithing, you can use the baskets being passed around. Remember, if you do want a cash receipt for cash you would like to place, then we have envelopes. You could put your name on that envelope, and we will get you a receipt for your donation. And also, if you auto tithe, which I do, I always love it, Sunday morning, first thing I got to notice, yep, my auto tithe already went in. And so you can do that too. Get signed up for auto tithe. That's one really good way to do it. Okay, I told you there's a lot going on. We have a few more things to make sure you're aware of. There is a community service opportunity. So we know we're going across to Pankey Hall today to learn about our opportunity fair. Here's a real specific one-time event right now that you can sign up for. It's for eQuest. eQuest is an equine therapy program. It's the first of its kind in Dallas, and it's one of our 4 partners, our nonprofit partners. So every quarter, every 3 months, we give them a portion of our tithe, and we provide volunteers for a morning's worth of work. This time it's Saturday, April 13th. So if you don't know about eQuest, you haven't been to eQuest, this is your opportunity. It's 8:30 in the morning to 12:30, and we will share our loving hands doing barn chores, gardening, and special event preparation. So the space is limited. Space is limited to 15. So 15 of us need to get together for this. It's ages 12 and up that are welcome, and please RSVP by April 7th, csldallas.org/events. Again, that's April 13th. Now, be a force for good initiative opportunity. Here's how is the name of the effort. It's called it's a sustainability info session. Here's how. Sunday, April 14th, reduce your plastics. Here's how. Want to do something about the growing garbage problem in our oceans, lakes, and rivers? Learn how you can reduce the number of plastics you use and buy. Discover how our Sustainability Circle members have reduced their plastic use, and see the alternatives that they're already using. You won't have to deprive yourself of anything. You'll learn to be more intentional about the products you use. It's a 30-minute session. It's free at 11:45 in the morning. Get registered at csldallas.org events, April 14th. And be a force for good initiative opportunity. I want to tell you about You may have heard from last year, we had the amazing journey that our leadership at CSL Dallas went through, actually in 2022, the Leadership Lab, Facing Racism in CSL Dallas. Facing Racism in CSL Dallas. We learned, shared, and studied, discovered, and grew together in service to our initiative to be a force for good in the world. We realized that if we didn't really understand how racism affects our beloved community members, care enough to learn new behaviors and apply them right here at home, well, then we had no business talking about healing racism in the world. And yes, unfortunately, no matter how loving, spiritual, well-meaning people that we are, there are people who have experienced the unpleasantness of unconscious bias and other incidents that clearly showed us we have work to do. Now's your opportunity to experience this very special journey based on the spiritual imperative and the excellent research and actual experiences of our team, Dr. Petra, Dr. Tracy, and Dana Jones. Our new leaders, elected and on staff, will be attending this, and we urge our team leaders, our volunteers, everyone, truthfully, all of CSL Dallas, become more educated, become better allies, be a force for good in this way and in this world. We're contributing to healing racism in the U.S. We're doing it right here at CSL Dallas. It's 6 sessions between April and November. It begins on Sunday, April 14th, noon, 12:30 to 3:30. A light lunch is provided. Love offering is appreciated. Register soon. Go on the website, look into it. Facing Racism at CSL Dallas. We want to see you there. Have a time to rub elbows with the leadership at CSL Dallas and other folks involved very deeply in the ministry. Want to see you there. And now, every Sunday in April is special. Watch the email news for who's coming next. We already told you Reverend Petra will be gallivanting about the country, enjoying her break. The final weekend, though, we already can tell you is extra special. We host one of our most well-known and beloved New Thought musician, teachers, and youth leaders. Jamie Lula will be here. Jamie will take us on an inspirational, rousing, and joyous ride at his Saturday concert, Live Love, on April 27th, and then be ready. You'll be dancing, laughing, connecting, singing along, most likely. You will come out of the evening bubbling and deepened all at the same time. At intermission, there will be adult beverages, too, and snacks are provided as a fundraiser for Joy Village, so it all goes to a good cause. $25 tickets in advance, $30 at the door. Again, that's April 27th. And then on that Sunday, the last Sunday, April 28th, be captivated by Jamie Lula as our special guest speaker and musician here at the morning celebration. And that'll be followed by a Joy Village fundraiser lunch. Also, 12:30 to 3:30 that Sunday, give yourself the gift of Jamie's Forgiveness Workshop. Forgiving others and forgiving ourselves and others can be a big challenge that we face. And if you've been wanting to find a way to kind of jump the shark and get ahead on forgiveness and get that happening in your practice, this is your chance. Walk through exercises designed to help you examine the blockages, get tools that can help you start applying forgiveness in your relationships, and share with others just like you as you go through the process together. All right, that's it. Remember, you're going to join us at across at Pankey Hall. We got the Opportunity Fair. Want to see you over there. Practitioners are available for, excuse me, for sessions, practitioner sessions at the Peace Room. You can do that online. We've put the link in the chat box. And now let's close our time together by standing up and let's sing together.